expect you to draw both of these in 5 minutes, labeling the points as well. Very similar to what we did with the unit circle. Images of these will be sent out tonight via email. They're also available online. You can go anywhere, just Google y equals cosine of x, and you'll get these graphs. Anyhow, let's go ahead and draw the parent function. So this is cosine. So we're going to start up here at 1. Going to come downstairs to -1. Going to come upstairs like this. I'm going to go ahead and label these points as a pi over 2. Going to label this as pi. Going to call it -1. Call it 3 pi over 2. Call it 2 pi. Again, stop me with questions. A lot of the feedback on the surveys were he tends to go a little bit fast. You need to let me know when I'm going too fast. We're going to come over here on the negative side. Remember, we have our graph something like this. Call this negative pi over 2. Call this negative pi. Call it negative 3 pi over 2. And call this negative 2 pi. Let me stop here and see if there are questions. Okay. Step 2 is to map the function. We'll throw in the max and min that we want as well. All right. So we're thinking about midline. The midline, you all should be able to do this on your own if you have the notes from Friday. If you need me up here, remember what midline is, remember what amplitude is, and remember what period is. So here's what I've got for midline, amplitude, and period. Again, stop me if you have questions. We need to be able to get those. And again, if you cannot get those, that's not a problem. You need to let me know. Which one do we not get, Fabricio?
For A.
Okay, for A.
Why is it not -2?
Okay, let's have somebody answer that. Why is A stands for amplitude. Why is amplitude not -2, Chepe?
When you say in the notes that it's always a positive value.
Amplitude always has to be a positive value. Remember, it's a distance, so we take the absolute value of what is here. Good question, great answer. Chepe. David. Doris, sorry.
The midline, you have to find max plus min.
That is one way to do it. What is an easier way? Just by looking at this equation to determine the midline. We had this on the notes on Friday, Miguel.
The absolute value of the number that's in front of the cosine.
One more time.
The absolute value of the number that's in front of the cosine.
The absolute value of the number that's in front of the cosine is not the midline. Right, so Miguel defined amplitude. How do I find midline? Just by looking at this equation, Salma? Right, it's the last number. And Salma, why did I put y equals 3 instead of just 3? How did I know to put y equals 3 and not just 3? You remember, Salma? Aldo, you have a thought? It's a horizontal line. The midline is a line. Think about the belt. The belt is a horizontal line.
Also, what's amplitude?
What is amplitude? Someone define amplitude for David. Miguel.
The space between the middle, the midline, and the top or the bottom.
Right, so the belt to the head or the belt to the shoes?
So like the minimum to the max.
No, hold on. The belt to the shoes. The middle to the minimum
So
is the amplitude.
from x equals 0 to 0.
Wait, hold on. What? I didn't hear what you said.
Or so like the minimum to x equals 0.
Right. Yes, in this case, right. For the parent function, that's right. I agree. Mitzi.
For the regular equation, the amplitude stays 2 and
So minimum is
One more time, I couldn't hear that.
for the y equals -2 close,
Right?
the amplitude stays 2 and keep -2.
Right, so Fabricio's question was, why is this not a -2? Fabricio, can you answer for Mitzi real quick? Why is this +2? Remind her.
the amplitude is always positive.
Why? Why, Fabricio?
Because it's always positive.
Why is it always positive?
Because it's the distance between one to another.
Right, so that a distance from the belt to the head cannot be a negative number, right? Distance must be a positive value. Questions? Okay, So now we can find the max and the min. There's a very easy trick to find the max and the min. If I know where the belt is, and I know the distance from the belt to the head, I can see where the head is. The belt is at 3. The distance from the belt to the head is 2. 3 plus 2, 5. The head must be at 5. So the max, remember, head just means max here in this case. I guess that was apparent to most of you all. So the max is 5. Again, so the process, let me review one more time, is we start at the belt. We say, how far away is the belt from the head? We know the belt is 2 away from the head. The belt is 3. 2 away is 5. What about the belt to the shoes? Well, shoes are the minimum. We know the belt is at 3. The distance from the belt to the shoes is 2. 3 minus 2, 1. Think about the belt, the shoes, and the head. Easiest way to think about it. Questions on that piece? On those pieces? All right. So now we need to draw each transformation. I'm going to start here with the 2. Notice I am not dealing with the negative, only the 2. I'm doing each transformation in a different color. You need to think to yourself right now. To yourself. You don't need to share it. This is what you need to be thinking in your mind. And I want people to think this every time they do a problem like this. Is this horizontal or vertical transformation? You need to think in your mind. Okay, how many people think this is a horizontal transformation? How many people think vertical transformation? And how many people are unsure? I always appreciate the honesty. Somebody who said vertical, explain why this is a vertical transformation, please. Mitzi? Sure. That's perfect. Carla? Same thing? That's exactly the way to think about it. Vertical transformations are outside the parentheses every time. Jessica, you may... vertical transformation. Any questions on how we knew this was vertical? Those folks who were in the undecided group.
You're talking about the negative 2, right?
I'm talking only about the 2 here. I'm not talking about the negative. Just the 2 so far. Just the 2. So now we've established this is a vertical transformation. So I need to now think to myself, is this going to affect x values or y? That's the next question. So the first question was vertical or horizontal. Second question, x or y values. Think to yourself, how many people think that this transformation affects the y values? How many people think the transformation affects x? And how many people are unsure? Again, we always appreciate the honesty. We always appreciate the honesty. Why does this affect the y values? Let's get somebody to answer that. Whoever said y values. So, Snari, what do you think?
Well, I know it because if it's inside the parentheses, you need x values.
Right.
Y is not an x value.
Yeah. Okay, that's definitely one way to do it. There's another way. Does anybody have a different way that they knew this affects y values? A different way? Miguel?
Because like x is like when you plug in the x value, the 2 after affects the x value not the other way.
Another good idea? And that's certainly a correct way to think about it too. You were going to say this, Mitzi? Okay, yeah. So we're not dealing with the negative yet. We're only addressing this 2, right? So Marvin?
Basically a slope.
It does affect slope. I think the way I think about it is a vertical transformation has to affect whatever's on the vertical axis, which is y. Y values are measured vertically, right? Y values are measured vertically. So all we need to do, so we figured out it's vertical, we figured out it affects y, so now we just need to say, how does it affect y? Well, we are multiplying every y value by 2. That's all we're doing. Multiply every y value by 2. So we should draw the points. This positive 1 comes up here to positive 2. 0 times 2 stays at 0. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. 0 times 2, 0. And 1 times 2, 2. 0 times 2, 0. Negative 1 times 2, negative 2. 0 times 2, 0. 1 times 2, 2. Questions on how we got the blue points, Mitzi? Yeah, because 0 times 2, still 0. Questions on any of the blue points? Now connect the blue dots. Up, down, back up, back down, back up. Questions on blue? Now, we need to go through the exact same process for the negative sign. We'll do that in, okay, we already used purple. I'll do this in black. So we're going to focus on the negative sign now. Again, we're thinking to ourselves, is this a vertical or horizontal transformation? I hope everybody's coming now to the conclusion that this is a vertical. Okay, I heard both. I heard both. I heard both. Someone defend vertical, please. Someone defend vertical, please. Umberto, please defend vertical.
It's making it taller and then moving the x instead of the 1.
Hold on, okay. We're focusing on the like -1, so that's not going to affect height. That will not affect height. That will not stretch. Luis? It'll reflect. Okay, but how do we know it's a vertical, Luis, and not horizontal? How do we know this is vertical? David Torres? Oh, sorry, Luis, keep going.
Because it's outside the parentheses.
Ah, because it is outside the parentheses. The exact same logic we used last time. So it's a vertical transformation because it's outside the parentheses. If it's a vertical transformation, it affects y values because y is the vertical axes. How does it affect the y values? By multiplying them by -1. Salma question. Okay. So I'm going to say I'm going from the blue graph to a new graph in black. So the +2 comes down to -2. 0 times -1 is still 0. -2 times -1 is +2. +2 times -1 is -2. The 0 stays the same, of course. 0 stays the same. And this -2 right here, upstairs to +2. This 0 stays here at 0. And this +2 down here to -2. Any questions on where the black points came from? So just connect the black dots. Connect the black dots. Again, you should probably stop me if you're not clear because the Thanksgiving homework will have at least 10 of these to do over break. 1. Jose.
Again?
I don't know why I'm
That was like
sorry.
4 times already.
Sorry. I owe you.
Oh, okay. Shouldn't you make the x-axis into 8 pi?
Into what?
Into all the way to 8 pi?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I will get there. when I do that transformation. I will do
I
that.
mean, you should have done that first.
I'll do it at the end. I'll
Into
do it at the end.
space.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. I'll do it at the end. Okay. We use dark blue. Okay. Pink. And then, the light blue is a little bit dead. I'll get another marker from Kurt or something. All right, I'm going to use the pink now. Right here. +3. Again, folks should be thinking to themselves, vertical or horizontal? Folks should be thinking, okay, is this shifting up or down? I hope people think, okay, this is a vertical transformation. We are outside the parentheses. We are shifting the y values, and we are going up by 3. We are adding 3 to every y value. So let's start with the black graph. So this -2 comes up to +1. -2 plus 3 is +1. Here's the next point on the black graph. This 0 point comes upstairs to 3. Yes, ma'am? Yep. So I'm going to add 3, and I notice that the 3 is outside the parentheses. Therefore, this is a vertical transformation. It's affecting y values, and I am adding 3 to every y value. So this was -2 plus 3 is +1. 0 plus 3 is +3. 2 plus 3 is way up here at 5. What's next? 0 comes up to 3. -2 comes up to +1. 0 comes up to 3. +2 comes up to +5. 0 comes up to 3. And -2 comes up right here. Connect the pink dots. Questions? All right, and the last piece is the 1/4. So with the 1/4, you're going to ask yourself, is this horizontal or vertical transformation? I hope most people say horizontal. This is inside the parentheses. Horizontal transformations affect x values. Horizontal transformations affect x values. And how does it affect the x values? Well, it's going to, this tells us multiply by 1/4. But we have to remember from Mr. Kurth's days that you do the opposite of what horizontal transformations say. This says multiply by 1/4. We need to therefore divide by 1/4. Every x value must be divided by 1/4. What's the x value? Yeah.
So that's for every fraction, or is it for
Every horizontal transformation.
Oh, so like for like the number that's inside the parentheses, we divide it.
Yeah, because that's a horizontal transformation. Yeah. So, x values need to be divided by 1/4. So this 0 divided by 1/4. Well, what is the x coordinate here? The x coordinate here is 0. 0 divided by 1/4, still 0. We're good here. What's the next point on the pink graph is right here. This point has an x coordinate of pi over 2. So we need to do pi over 2 divided by 1/4. So we need to keep change flip. Pi over 2 times 4 over 1. 4 pi over 2, so 2 pi. So this point that used to be right here at pi over 2 comma 3 now comes way out here to 2 pi comma 3. What's the next point on the pink graph? The next point on the pink graph is right here. What are the coordinates of this? This is pi. So I need to take pi and divide it by 1/4. Pi over 1 times 4 over 1 equals 4 pi. So this point used to be at pi, now it is way over here at 4 pi. The next point, 3 pi over 2 right here. 3 pi over 2 divided by 4. 3 pi over 2, divided by 1/4, times 4 over 1 equals 6 pi. So this point right here is now over here at 6 pi. And then the last point on the pink graph is here at 2 pi. 2 pi divided by 1/4 is the same as 8 pi, so that's about here. And there you have it. You don't have to worry about this side. If you can just get like one piece on the last one is fine. So here you have it.
Instead of drawing it all together, can we do like 4 different graphs? 'Cause like
4 different graphs. Would we be okay with that? Yes, we would be fine with that. We would absolutely be fine with that. Yes. All right, and the last step, you need to label the maximum and the minimum. So here's the maximum right here. And what is the x-coordinate here? 4 pi, comma 5. What is the minimum here? Here's the minimum. This is at 0, comma 1.
Can we do label 1 minimum?
No. And this one, I'll draw it out here, is what? 8 pi, comma 1. There you go. This is what we need to see on your paper. People will try to do this quickly. They'll try to do it on half a page, and they'll get it wrong, and they'll be upset when they get a low grade. So all the steps, I'm expecting on average 10 minutes a problem. 10 minutes per problem.
Just 2.2 hours.
10 minutes per problem.
You're talking about Thanksgiving break?
And this one too, someone too. Every problem like this, I'm thinking about 10 minutes. Until we do a bunch of them, then it'll be sorted. You have the rest of the period, have fun.
We got time for 3. What is it asking for?
Obviously something was said.
Map.
What did you say?
Of the final.
Oh, okay.
Map. Midline.
Really, the answer is the blue one. But it's very hard to just draw the blue one just by looking at it. So you're going to go through the steps to get the blue one.
And let's just start with this first.
So what's 8 pi over 1? What is it?
8 pi over 1 is 8
Oh.
pi comma 1.
So you
That's
just label
the
that
minimum.
point, right?
Yeah, and it goes to the max and the min.
If you feel like you're going to
How's it the minimum? 3 points got 1.
Max, min, and midline.
how are you going to go about that?
Okay,
Because I've done it a million times. I mean, I still have to like look at it. I mean, I don't go through this. I mean, I do this to like teach, but like since I've done this a million times, I can kind of look at it and get a sense of what's going to happen. But you'll get there if you do a bunch of problems. We can stop this here.
Oh, you got email. She loves.